this week that we really like played up to my presentation pretty well. But Carl ended today with our mindset and how we need to clear that out. And kind of like we talked about last night, like we wrote those words down, those hurtful words that we say to ourselves, right? That we would never look at Chelsea and say those words to her, but like those are the negative thoughts that are on loop over and over in our own heads, right? So I want us to close our eyes. Close your eyes right now. And I want you to come here for the next 20 to 25 minutes with an open mind, an open heart, and to put aside those negative thoughts. And I want you to think of something positive about your journey. Where do you see yourself going? Whether it's with a workout, whether it's nutrition, maybe you want to start helping other people. Maybe it's digging into more personal development in one area that you know you need. I want you to think something positive about where you are headed. It can be a word, it can be a phrase, it can be anything, but I want it to be something positive about where you're going once you leave Summit. If anybody is comfortable enough sharing that word, just say it out loud. Up. Up. I love that. Anybody else?
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence. Let's build that confidence up.
Consistent.
Yes. Consistency, the day in and the day out.
Strong.
Strong. Yes.
Focus.
Focus. Yes. Okay, open your eyes. Let's keep those words on our thoughts as we go through this. And I walk you guys through a little bit of my journey, because I think it's always easy for us to see, you know, from the people that are presenting to us at Summit, and it looks like it's just so far away. I remember Ashley and I sitting at our first Summit, and we were like, we're going to be those friends that are up on stage someday. Like, that's going to be us. And it can seem so far away. So let's take it down to what our own team is doing, what the people that we look up to right in our own little circle are doing, and learn from them bit by bit. But first, we're going to do a growth check, because it wouldn't be anything if we didn't start with a little bit of something to maybe push us forward, to go up, to boost that confidence, to increase that focus, to become stronger. I actually went back and I was looking through like posts and stuff from when I started my journey. And one thing that I think keeps bringing through over and over to me, it's one of those things that's on repeat, is the caption that I had for this one post, and it said, don't wish for something you're not willing to work for. And didn't we hear that yesterday in kind of a different, but even more of a gut check way, where they said, if you're not doing it, you just don't care. Do you care about yourself enough to do the work so that you can see the success that you want on your journey, in your life, for your family, for your kids? And then we'll take it back a few days ago. Any of you that watch Elevation Church love Stephen Furtick. I was talking to Nick a lot about him last night. Olivia and I were chatting about him. We love Stephen Furtick, and of course Brittany does. But he talked about it in his sermon on Sunday as well. But with obviously a spiritual aspect to it. And he said, God can't fix the problems if you aren't willing to change. We come to God mostly with all of our problems, right? I mean, we do go there and we thank him for when things go right, but a lot of times we are dumping on him constantly. But a little bit of gut check, are we willing to change and open up to what he has in store for us? And I think that's really important, because that can be in any aspect of our life, just like how they showed it to us and talked to us about it yesterday. You know, are we willing to put in the work? So let's look at the areas that we can put in the work, because you guys, it doesn't happen overnight. We don't just wake up who we are today and we're totally transformed 100% to that person we're wanting to be, right? Whether it's physically, emotionally, in our business, like you don't just wake up and all of a sudden you magically have everything on that tracker crossed off and it's 100% and you've hit Success Club and you've hit Diamond and like all the things, right? It doesn't happen, because we have to grow bit by bit. We add that, we start with the foundation and we keep layering it, like Brittany always tells us, brick by brick by brick, one step at a time. I was talking to Kristen about this last night, And, we think we just want to do it all, right, Amanda? We can't do the tracker, we can't do it 100%. But it's really like, what are we good at 100% right now? And what's that next thing that we can add on and start that next layer? And let's get 100% at that. And then we can add on another one. So we grow bit by bit. So here, you guys, a little bit of my transformation story for you. On the left there, you see it was literally the first line drawn in the sand for my journey. I was a travel nurse in Maine on assignment, and it was around Valentine's Day. And I was coming out of one of the biggest holes of depression I've ever been in my life, as I was 2 years out from my divorce and realized that I had to move on because he moved on, finally. And I realized that I couldn't just stay in bed and get up and go to work, and I had to live life. That's why I became a travel nurse. I wanted to live life. So on the outside, everything looked perfect. I was traveling, I was going and seeing national parks and just packing up my car and being so naive that nothing would go wrong. But all I was just crying out on the inside that I was just in such a bad place. So that was really my first line drawn in the sand. I reached out to a friend, not Brittany yet, although I had met Brittany at that time already. And she got me started 21 Day Fix on DVDs with Shakeology. And I got the program and I did it, and I did the nutrition. I lost 5 pounds. I felt amazing. My confidence built. I did it again, and it wasn't so good. I didn't have a group. I didn't have a team. I didn't have a coach that checked in on me. I didn't have any of that. So Ashley and I, we met up in New York. That was a big piece for both of us in our stories as you hear them over time. But we would go and we would work out, and I didn't really ever do 21 Day Fix again because it was on DVDs, right? Who wants to repeat a DVD set? Because you know what's coming, you know you can dread cardio. I wasn't going to put them in again to push play. So I said no. So Brittany came back into my inbox, and I joined in October of 2017 with her as a coach. Just thought, okay, it's all online. I'm good. Give me the nutrition. I'm good. I don't need your other stuff. So I did T25, and I did complete that with a little bit of FOMO when we did the Bodathon, and then 80 Day Obsession came out. And the next pictures are the next line drawn in the sand. I started 80 Day Obsession, and I brought Ashley along with me. The line that was drawn was that I was not only accountable to myself now, but I was accountable to Ashley. If I was going to give up, she was going to see that. And I didn't want her to give up on her journey. It was a whole different level of accountability in and of itself. And Brittany added on the layer of this awesome community she kept talking about. I was like, yeah, okay. So I get in the group, and I was like, oh my God, these girls are actually pretty cool. Natalie was in there, and we were commenting on each other's stuff, and they'd see Ashley when we would do our double workouts. And I was like, oh, that's cool. This will be done on 80 Day Session, and so whatever. So Lift 4 came out. I saw all these people at Summit, and I was like, I bought my ticket while you guys were at Summit. I saw Brittany posting, and I was like, I am going to go to Summit next year. I already had my ticket because I wanted the sale price, and I wanted to get in on whatever this was, because little did I know that I missed, not that I thought I needed a community, but I missed a team. I was captain of volleyball. I actually played volleyball with Nicolette. Y'all didn't know that. We played high school volleyball together. Yes, that's right. Web. Yes. So I missed the team aspect, and that's what it seemed like Brittany was forming, was a team. And so these two pictures, very different points in my life and two different lines drawn in the sand, but nonetheless helped me grow a little bit more on my journey. So when we look at the basics of just coaching ourselves, we have to look at, are we into a nutrition program? Did we pick a workout program? And are we gonna do it to a T? And I mean to a T. 21 days, y'all. Kristen, she joined and did the Ultimate Reset as her first program, you guys. She went in, all in.
Insane, you got it,
Right?
insane.
She was ready for a change. There has to be that line drawn in the sand. I was huge on self-sabotage. Anybody else? I'll do it Monday through Friday, but come the weekend, and what does Autumn say? It was my weekend. And I would start back where I started on Monday because I couldn't hold myself accountable to it. And I didn't actually know that I could achieve the success that I wanted to achieve. So picking a program, picking a nutrition plan, and following it to a T, and see what you are capable of. Get into that bod group and love it like they are your BFFs, because they are. They are women that are like-minded like you, that are there to take care of themselves. You won't find, Leah talked about this, you won't find this community, this kind of community. Belmar talked about it today too, Angie. You won't find this kind of community anywhere else. Yes, I have friends back home, but are they like in the same mindset? No way. I don't have nearly half the conversations with them that I do with women in this group. Personal development. I didn't really touch on this a whole lot, but when I started back in Maine, I had really lost my journey with God. I grew up Catholic, wasn't really ever going to church anymore, didn't really believe in the Catholic ways, but I had this 365 daily prayer book that I think my sister gave me when I graduated college. And I thought, well, if there's anywhere to start, it's with this. And that's really where I started my personal development, was my developing my relationship back with God. And now I have Annie and I have Allison, I have Brittany, who have greatly helped me on that journey to finding God again, as I watch their daily routines and like them doing Bible studies and just growing so deep in their faith. And prepare for the week ahead, because this is so key. I know we talk about like, I don't have the time, right? We get a lot of those objections. I don't have the time. I don't have the money, like whatever, but time is one of the biggest things that irks me, because we don't miss doctor's appointments. We don't miss picking up the kids at school. We probably don't even miss taking our dogs to the vet, right? Like we don't miss appointments for anybody else, but we will always miss that appointment for ourselves. So when you're planning out your week, you make that appointment with yourself. Put it in the calendar. It can be different if that's what it has to be, depending on your schedule. But like when I started 80-day obsession, I was working 12-hour shifts in an ER in New York City. I knew I had to get up and get that done beforehand, because I was not going to be push and play on an hour-long workout at 9 p.m. So I got up at 4 a.m. and I made it happen. So schedule that appointment with yourself. Prepare for the week ahead so that you are successful. Look and plan your meals. Go and grocery shop. Prep them all ahead. Ashley and I, if you have all seen pictures of us, we were like taking the subway. We were like spending 12 hours one day in the city to go get our food and prep. And then one of us would leave with Aldi bags full of prepped meals ready to go for the week. It's huge. Preparation is key in you guys growing your first and having that success. Because once you know that you are accountable to you, or you add that level of accountability with somebody else, you're going to see just what you are capable of and know that you can do that, so you can do more. So as we continue to grow, then we continue to grow with others, right? And we've been talking about this a lot this week. How do we expand? How do we invite? How do we connect? Like all of these things. And there's, yesterday we talked about how like I was the one to go out and grab Leia. And I said to her, and she knows this, but she was the one to draw the next line in the sand for me. Because it wasn't just Britt growing her business back in 2018, but Leia was the first person to hit diamond. And when I saw Leia hit diamond and that it was possible, I thought, why not me too? And that is when I started to work the business. I remember I had just come home. Ashley and I went to Japan. We came home from Japan and I was taking an assignment back home. And I didn't really know what to do with my life at that time. I didn't know if I should buy a house, buy a condo, like what I was really doing. I felt like I had to do something. So I went and looked at a house that day, but I took all my stuff with me and I went to a coffee shop afterwards and I sat down, I texted Leia and I said, I'm working the business. And I made my notebook sheet of paper of 100 people, like Britt tells us. And I made my invite and I copy, pasted, and I tweaked it to every person. And you bet I left there sending an invite to everybody on that list that day. And that was December 18th of 2018. I just had to start because I saw the possibility in somebody else doing it. It wasn't just Britt and it wasn't just Leia now. And now it's not just me and it's not just Ashley and it's not just Annie, but it could be Amanda and it can be Chelsea and it can be Leah. It can be any one of you that goes next. You just have to start. You have to make that line drawn in the sand again and say, I'm going to start. And so when I looked back here at my Instagram grid, the one on the right is when I started 80 Day Obsession, actually. I didn't realize I had shared some stuff when I was doing 80 Day Obsession, but you can also see that I was posting about Rodan and Fields. I was also a Rodan and Field consultant at the time because that was my sister's dream. So as we heard one of the other speakers, not this week from Summit, but in a different presentation, when you have two focuses, your focus is 50% in one and 50% in the other one, right? So you're not really going to get anywhere. So when I looked and I started to draw that line in the sand, and I took my grid on the left was when Transform 20 launched, and that's when I started working my business. You can see that I shifted that focus. My sister, thankfully, was very supportive and realized that Beachbody was more my thing than skincare, and I made the shift. My shift focused to solely Beachbody, my transformations, sharing about the things I loved, like travel and nursing and my family and things like that, and just sharing a little bit at a time. So it didn't happen overnight again. It took me time to realize and prioritize where that focus needed to be. So as we share with others, we have to look at what are we doing to grow and bring others along with us. Are we getting on national wake up calls? Are we getting on the team calls that are every Monday night? Are we doing power hours? It took me a long time to get into that, but once I did, it's been a staple. And if I wasn't able to be on there, I remember when I came back to Wisconsin and I had a travel nurse job I was pretty much working every Monday night. Brittany knew that by the time I got home that night, I had listened to the team call, and I was probably the first one to comment on my takeaways from that team call, because I made it a non-negotiable, no matter if I could be on present in live or if I had to rewatch the recording. So making those a priority is huge. Posting to your pages, your stories, like all that kind of stuff. Are you sharing your journey? And I'll be the first one to tell you, I still like, I'm Brittany with this all the time. I don't know what to post. We're all there. I'm still growing in that. Connecting and inviting. It's an ongoing thing. And they talked about that today. So hopefully you guys got some good takeaways on how to connect with people and how to go further in that invite process. And then like I already talked about live events, I already had FOMO when I wasn't at the 2018 summit and I was kicking off Lift 4, and I had already bought my 2019 summit ticket. And Ashley was the first person that I brought along to summit that first year as well. She finally like gave in like in February or something that year. Said, okay, I'll go to Indy with you. Live events are huge, you guys. Super weekends when they come back are huge. It's just like a mini summit. Like go and meet new people, go network with other coaches, see what they're doing, where they're at in their business, and like link arms with them. It's just like having a success sister here. Have a success sister with somebody outside of the team. That's okay too. Like learn from them and grow from them. Continue to grow with others. And then we have, as become more of the business builder and the things that you can achieve once you link arms with those that are working at the level that you are working at, like we've talked about. So I've got my first, when I went to Summit in 2019, you guys, that was when another line kind of drawn in the sand, when I missed Diamond, my first time. I was in one of Brittany's Dash to Diamond internships with another girl on the team, and I fell flat on my face, and the other girl achieved. And I was like, am I really supposed to be doing this? And I shared, I think, that call that I had heard that lit that fire again from Julie Boris with most of you. But I hit Diamond just hours after the summit cut off. But thankfully, Brittany gave me Charlie's Diamond band to go to the leadership track and considered me a Diamond at Summit. So I went and had dinner with Brittany. This is, of course, our group from just the other night. I've had a retreat here for Valentine's Day with Leia and Britt. Last year up there is our masquerade, our Zoom masquerade picture. And then our leadership retreat that was in the fall with Amy and Amanda. So much good when you start surrounding yourself with the people that are where you want to be. So it's one thing we're in this sisterhood because we love being around like-minded women. Now, when you want to continue and see more success, like link arms with those ones that are where you see yourself being. What are they doing every day? And what can you incorporate into your daily routine to get to that spot? So that's like hitting SC. We have another person that may have just hit SC All-Star. Yes. So hitting SC, like, I don't know. I mean, I've been watching Brit this whole time. Like, how does she do it every month? Guys, 63 months. Like, how does she do it? I'm like 12. But hitting SC every month, expanding that network, like we talked about, U+2, the Emerald Push, you guys, like every month, keep growing your team, be the leader. Don't wait to have that rank or that title, whether it's at work or whatever, like be that person now and grow into that role, into that title. Team Cup, we've talked a lot about this these last couple of days. That's coming up next month. Are you gonna lead a team? Are you gonna at least be on the team? Surround yourself with those women that are pushing to help more people. BOD groups. I remember the first time Brittany asked me to help in a BOD group, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. She's like, just read the chapter and say something. Okay. Balanced and Beautiful. That was the first group that I helped in. But help out in your BOD group. If you are bringing other people in there, they want to hear your voice. So be in that group, be present. Like I said before, be their BFF in that group. Like love on them, like even if you don't know them, love them like you know them. Okay? That's how you're going to continue to grow your team. It literally is you +2 makes your team. Ashley and my mom were the two that helped me start. I may have fudged it a little bit. I didn't really make it happen the right way the first time, but it happened. That's how I got Emerald. And now it went from 2 of us last year at Summit and the year before, technically, to 6 of us here now on our team.
I love that. That's so cool.
So what does your inventory look like? Let's take a look at those groups again. So you grow first. Have you picked a program? A nutrition program. You got your BOD group. What do you have for PD? And are you prepping? Are you prepping for success? Growing with others. Are you getting on your calls? Are you posting? Are you connecting and inviting? And are you attending live events? Who's already got their ticket for Summit 2022? I know more. You do. Yeah, raise your hand. Who's got it? Leah, I think those too. Okay, you got your ticket for Summit?
Absolutely, I did it yesterday.
All right. So get your tickets.
And my daughter's getting married at the beginning of that month, though. So if I can be there after planning and paying for a wedding, you can be there.
And then growing your team, expanding, hitting SC, U+2, being the leader. I know Summit can be very overwhelming because you walk out with so many ideas of what you want to do in your BOD group and how you're gonna like invite and like all these things, and you're like, oh my God, like where do I start? I want you to just pick 3 things. 3 things from all the notes that you took this week so far, and you might take a little bit after yet today. 3 things. Go through and highlight them. And I want you to go back again. It's almost like when you pack for Summit. Pack it, unpack it, pack it. Keep taking out stuff. Find the 3 main things that you can take action on. And I want one of them to be something that you can say that you've already taken action on in the next week. That you can say, I have this planned, I did this, I'm going to succeed. And that, my friends, is how you grow bit by bit. So where will you grow next? That's all I've got for you.
Need to be a professional.